Let's check it out.
So when you log into this interface, you will see this. This is our admin panel. We have two interfaces. First is this one, admin panel, and the second one is the tracking interface. So I will briefly
Okay.
introduce you this admin panel first. Here in dashboard, we see the total information, summary information about our accounts, about our vehicles, how many online, offline, this kind of information. Then
Okay.
the next step is the account. Here we create the account for our end users. So let's create one just for test. Account for end user. Then the email. Then the email, phone number. And we have to select the partner. We have to select the currency and the price, organization type, account type. It can be postpaid or prepaid. Just can work with negative balance or will be blocked. And okay, when we add the account, this information is enough to create the account. So if we double click again, we come back to this window and we can see there are some other pages. For now, we skip all of them. Just later, we will check these additional modules. So we have created one account. And if you right click to this account, you can see this pop-up menu. And if we go to the users, we can see one user is being added by the system automatically, and we can process through the main interface with this login, with this user. So this this account we have to put it to another node, but okay. So this interface we will check a little bit later. Let's finish the admin panel first. So what else we can see here is this is again all users of this account. With this user's credentials, we can log into the platform. Then we can see the list of all vehicles of this account, the audit. We can see all the things that happen on this account, like somebody has changed something, and we can store this information. Here we can see the list of available reports to the account. Different kind of reports, many reports. We can export vehicle lists with Excel format. Actually, there are some other options, but I think we should maybe skip some of the details. Let's just briefly overview the platform, so as to be able to use it. Some other details we can discuss later. So when we create the account, we can log into the interface by this way. Just go to the users, then under this user, we'll log into this interface. Then the next is the vehicles. We haven't created any vehicle yet, so this list is empty. Let's check the real accounts. So the vehicles, they looks like this. It's just the list of the vehicles. We can search, we can sort them, filter, and do these kind of things. So here we do not add the objects. We add the objects in this main interface. Here in admin panel, we just check them. If you right click to this object, we can see this menu, and there are some pages that we can check. First is the edit option. Here we can change something for this account. We can change the price. We can unblock this vehicle, and we can move it to another account as well. So if you have test account and you want to move account to the customer one, you can do it like from here. Move from test account to the real one. Another thing is the commands. From the platform, we can send the GPRS commands to the device. Relaying raw data. Another thing is the raw data under the object. So this raw data is all the updates from the device. Here we have the time and the other GPS data, like location, speed, and other things. And here on the right side is the sensors data. So based on this data, we create the sensors and monitoring them. So this is all the updates from the device, and at each point we know the location and the sensor's value. What else here? Audit. Okay, vehicles. Vehicles we can skip for now. Next is the financial module. Here in financial module we can see the history of the billing, like payments or write-offs and or the generated invoices. And from here as well we can create the price. So the price that we have selected when we create the account, this price can be created. This is the price for one vehicle per 1 month. So that is the financial model. Next is the partners. Here in the partners, we can also create the account. Steps are the same. Just push add button and fill in this form. The difference between these two accounts, account and the partner account, is that the partner account is the access to admin panel. So this we can create for your partners, for our sub partners. But these accounts, it's just for the end users, for the customers, for the end users. Partners, then the users. Here we can create users for your main account. Like now you are logging under the main login and password, and we also can create a user for the same account. Something we skipped. Okay, recalculate. Here in the recalculation, we have some scripts, and these scripts can help us to modify the data for 10 days back, for 10 or some other number of days back. Like, for example, since today we changed the speed limit from 100 to 120, and by this script we can recalculate and we can apply this new data to the reports for 10 days back. The same we can do for other sensors, for tracks, for geozones, for ECA driving data, and for some other. This is recalculation. Raw data we've checked, admin, I think all this we skip. And here in the settings, we can do the rebranding. Rebranding is just to apply your URL and your logo to the software. So this is how the rebranding looks like. Just your URL and your logo, pictures, something like this. But the other things are the same, like functionality. So that is the settings. That is the admin panel.
Yeah, Mr. Festus, are you understanding? Yeah.
Yeah,
Festus?
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
too
yeah.
fast, but I can. Yes, I can
Ah,
hear you. I can hear you. I'm
yeah,
understanding it, but I'll look at it. I'm still looking at it. I'm unable to
yeah, yeah.
log in yet. My I'm unable to log in yet.
We're,
Slowly.
we're able
You
to
could.
log in.
No, no, not yet. I've not logged in. It
I've
just
sent you.
directed me to a password.
Yeah, yeah. I've sent you. I
Yes,
sent you the link,
I
so you
clicked.
follow.
Okay, the password. Okay, okay. Let me
Yeah,
follow.
you
Let
follow
me log
that
in.
link. When you follow the link, it's going to
Okay,
provide you with all the
okay.
necessary
I'll do
spaces that
that
you
now.
are going to. Yeah, I think maybe Sergey, let him log in so that
Okay, okay.
you understand, like what we are
Yes,
getting
so
at.
the main functions of this admin panel is the
So,
administrative work. So here we create the
Okay,
accounts and
okay.
create the accounts
Let me
for
log
the
in first.
customers.
okay,
Yes, yes. And we are checking, we set up the prices and some other things we can check from here, from admin panel. So this is like the panel for administrative work. The main thing are happening in the main interface, so we are going to go there. Once you're ready.
Okay.
Let him log in
Okay,
first.
okay.
Let me see.
If you
Okay,
may also can share the screen
let
and
me log
show
in.
us what's happening.
Okay, okay. I'll share.
Toot, 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 toot.
Can you see my screen?
No.
Not yet.
Have you
Okay,
shared
okay,
it?
okay.
No, I
Yes,
think
I'm
maybe
sharing.
it's,
Okay,
yeah, maybe it's
that's no
loading.
problem.
Just loading.
Okay, it's loading. Okay. Yes. Screen sharing is running. It's loading.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
my
yet
internet.
appearing.
Maybe it's my internet.
But
So,
were you able to to log in into your account? Yeah.
yes, I've logged in. Yes, I've logged in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think then
I've
maybe
logged
we
in.
can continue with ours.
Okay, okay,
Maybe because
okay. Continue
yeah,
with
since
yours.
everything is
Yeah,
working fine. So let me
yeah,
just
it's
before
working
we
very fine.
go further, yeah. So basically, it's very user friendly platform. You understand, right? So everything is almost written there. So we just try as much as we
Yeah,
can to explain to the main important points. You understand, right? The rest, when you just go there, you are going you are clicking. Oh, you can see all the how you can use the functionalities. But this one, we are trying to maybe explain to you the main important ones. You understand? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sergey, you can go ahead.
Yes, so now we go to the main interface.
Yeah, we are done with the admin, so we can go to the main interface.
Yes, for now, just need to understand the main functions, the main idea of this platform, because there are too many details. This
Mm-hmm.
platform is old enough to, and we have added many things based on the customer requirements. So there are many features. We do not cover all of them right now. We just want to show you the main idea of this platform. The other things, details,
Okay,
we can check later. So this is the
okay,
admin panel, and in here admin panel we create the accounts for our customers, and we do some other things related to the administrative work. So we have created one account, and now right click and users. This user is created by the system automatically, and with this user we can log into this interface,
okay.
to the tracking interface. Let's wait for another few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Then to check the login and password for this interface, we have to go to the settings, then staff and groups, and this is the user that has been created by the system. And here we can find login and password. So this address, this URL, and this login and password we send to the customer. And customer has access only to this interface, not to admin panel. Okay, now about this interface. Here on the left side, as you can see, we have 3 or 4 tabs. Is the online, history, reports, and the account. These are the main. Options. The default one. They are available to every account. So here in online mode, we add the objects. Let's try to add one. So as to add the object, we push plus button, and we have to fill in this form. Vehicle name, EMA number, and device SIM number. So this information is enough to create the object. Again, if you double click, we go to the same page, and you can see there are some many others options, but we can keep them by default for now. Just let me explain you. This is the important page, the settings. Here is the track builder and events filter, and some alerts we can enable here. Okay, this we can check later. We can also count the full consumption without full sensor, just by the mileage. Like we have to set up the full consumption, like 10 liters per 100 kilometer, and then these settings will be applied for calculation. Photo is just the Teltonika integration. So we've created one object, and then we have to add some sensors. We can add some sensors. So let's try to check the existing object, like this one. We right click to the object and we go to the sensors. As you can see here, we have already created the sensors for this object. But still, if you want to add one, you have to push the plus button and then config this window. Let us explain what's this. So first of all, we have to select the right function for the sensor, because each of these functions, they affect on the own, it has its own logic in the platform. Like ignition sensor, it can affect on some notifications and the track builder and this kind of things. Fuel sensor affects on fuel reports. And the same for the others, like temperature sensor affect on temperature sensor, and the other sensors, they have their own logic and for reports and for the notifications. But if you cannot find the sensor name in this list of your sensor, then you can add this sensor as a special equipment sensor or as a special sensor. The difference is of these sensors is in the type. The special equipment sensor should be deep sensor. Deep sensor means this sensor should give us the status on or off, closed or open. This kind of sensors. It can be door sensor or some equipment sensor, like, I don't know, anything. But the special sensor is the sensor that give us the value. It's like the analog sensor. The sensors like fuel sensor or temperature or voltage, these kind of sensors should be dedicated. So the special sensor should be dedicated. We also have some other types, but these two are most commonly used, most frequently used. We also can use the selector. Selector sensor is the sensor that can give us the different statuses, like not just open and closed, but status 1, 2, 3, so different kind of statuses. There are also some other types of the sensors. We can skip this explanation of this for now because it's complicated. We can check this later. For the sensors, we also another thing is the field. This field we take from raw data. So we showed you the raw data before. This is the raw data. So to read the sensor, we have to copy this name exactly with the same name, and then we have to put it to this field so a sensor can read this the parameters from this field. There are also many different kind of filters and settings for the filter, so as to make data more accurate. So this is how the sensors works. This is how we can add them. We can also use the templates for the sensors. For example, we have many. Sorry, your question?
Do you have any questions so far? That's what you were saying. Hello?
Yeah, I guess I can hear you. My question is, how do we,
I said that
device,
if you have
can
any
you hear
question,
me?
just do not hesitate. Like, you can just say, oh, I don't understand this, or I don't understand things, so that I can explain to you. Yeah.
How do the device work? Do I need to install the device on the car for it to work, or is it that how do I integrate it automatically with the dashboard stuff or with the dashboard?
No.
How
Okay,
how
understand.
does it work? Is that
Understand your question.
okay?
Yeah, first of all, for example, if you are going to track anything, maybe like, it can be a vehicle or anything else, you have to put the hardware. You understand, right? So the hardware, then we kind of like, connect it with the software. So that we can get like, the accurate information from there. You understand that we can't just get it like, from the air or something like that. So you have to connect it, and we have different like, hardwares we use. But the most one of the like, best ones, like the most famous one, like there. See it now. He's sharing like Teltonica
Yeah,
and
so
other
this is
devices.
the tracker device, and we install SIM card to this tracker device, and we
Mm-hmm.
connect this device to a vehicle, and then we have to set up this device to send data to the platform, to our platform.
You understand, right? Now you understand.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to you have to insert it in that vehicle. You understand, right? If you insert it, then they do the setup, everything, then it's already connected to our system. So that's where we get all these reports. You understand, right? If not, it's not absolutely it's not possible to just get those
Nie,
information while you are
nie,
just sitting. You understand, right? It's just like you have to connect
Okay.
hardware and software.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
so this is the tracking
Okay.
device.
Sorry. Okay. How
Yes,
do I?
Mm-hmm.
we
Okay.
install it to a vehicle, and
Okay. My question is, how do I now get the device? For instance, if I want, let's say I have a customer and I want to use,
Mm-hmm.
how do I get the device and how do I install it? I don't know how to install this. So where do I
uh,
install it? Do I need to get a
every
technician to install
every
it, or are you going to show me on how to?
Mm-hmm.
actually we support the list of the vehicles. This we have shown you just one, but actually we support many different kind of
Yeah.
devices, and
I,
even this list is not completed. We add the
yeah.
devices
Okay.
from time to time. We integrate new devices, so
So mhm.
you can check
Okay.
what is.
I can send you.
Yeah,
I can send him the
yeah,
link. Yeah, I can send you the link so
this
you can see
file
like
please
the
send.
different, yeah, different devices.
So
You can see like
you can check
Helio,
what is
Totonica,
available.
China, Novacom. Mm-hmm.
You can check on your local
Okay.
Yeah.
market
Mm-hmm.
what kind of devices
Okay.
are you
Device
can find
Mm-hmm.
on your local market.
available there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
with these big companies like Teltonica or other companies like this, you can request, they can send you. So like you can make a contract and they can send to your country as much as you need. So this is just this
Okay.
is
Okay.
hardware part. So we
Yeah.
can integrate.
Okay.
You can order it. You can buy it maybe anywhere you want. Maybe you can buy it online from China, from where, anywhere, anyone that you think like
Okay.
is okay for you. You think is good. Understand that? Because we don't want to maybe like
Okay.
oh, we are not dealing like those hardwares. So, but if you want, we can recommend
Okay.
you like
Okay.
the
Okay.
best ones, like one of the best ones that usually work. You understand? Yeah. So
Oh,
you install it, then you
okay.
give us
Better.
like
Better.
everything, then we just connect it to our software. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. 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 After I install it, then I'll just notify you guys technical
Yeah,
to be able to integrate
for
it
the
with my
installation you can
with the dashboard. Right?
just power supply this device. This can be done, I don't know, from the power from the car battery. So that will be the very
Okay. Have a
basic
check.
connection, just to connect it to power, and this device will start updating the
Okay.
location and the voltage. So these two parameters will enough for basic tracking. If you want to be
Yeah.
monitoring some other things like fuel
Okay. So
sensors and
so
other things,
Yeah. Okay. Sergey, the question is that you wanted to know how do you like connect it. You understand, right? To your software. That's what you want, like detailed explanation. You understand? For example, if he decided like to buy his own device, maybe from maybe China or anywhere, then when he install it, how do they get like the data to make sure that it's connected with our software, with our platform?
so yes, there is the SIM card that is updating the data to our platform, and this is the data that is coming from the device. At every second or every minute, we know where is the vehicle, at what time, and what are the sensors values. Like V source is 12 volts, internal battery is 4 volts, and the other things. Fuel consumption, mileage, many things we can find here. So at every time we know where the vehicle is and what are the sensors values. Okay, so we have added one vehicle, we have added the sensors, and then we can click and and we have configured these devices, and devices updating to the platform. So the next step is just to check. We click to this object and then we select,
Ah, okay.
and
Yeah, he wanted to. He asked a question. I think
and
I
then we
just
know
understand.
and then we know what was the last connection time, what the coordinates, the address, other information, and the sensors values as well.
Yeah, he has a question.
Yeah, what's the question?
Okay. Okay, my question is, can I use the same? Can I? What if I want to use it? For instance, now we have a lot of dispatch bike ones for like for this last mile businesses. So can I use the same? Can I use the same the system for bikes for like dispatch bikes?
Anything,
In fact,
Yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah.
$2,000.
Of course, sure. It's not
Okay,
only
is it not
yeah,
correct?
it's not only for like a cars, trucks, or something like you can use it for bikes. You understand, right? For scooters, anything like
We have the icons
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. You
good.
can track it.
for the pilot
Okay,
platform. It doesn't matter what do you use for the fleet. It can be car,
Mm,
truck. You can carry this track in your pocket,
mm.
or it can be a dog, horse, cow. It doesn't
Even
matter.
yeah,
Anything,
anything. Yeah,
anything
anything that is moving.
that you
It
want
oh,
can
to
be
okay,
sheep.
control.
Yeah, so
okay,
It can even it can
it can
even
be
okay,
even your
be
dog.
it
So
can even be
anything you want.
the static object. It can be even the static object if you want to control some parameters on the static object, like the some
okay,
telecom tower or any other. So you can create the object as the static object as well. It doesn't matter. So the platform will still read the information from the sensors, and we can display
okay,
this information in online mode. So
okay,
the
okay.
next step is the history. So online is clear, right? Here we add the object, we configure the
Yes,
device,
yes,
add the sensors, and checking these kind of things. So, and
okay,
then after we've done this all correctly, so we can see this object in online on the map and the sensors values. Okay, now we go to the history. In history, we can check this data in history perspective. Let's try to add more. Wait, just a few seconds. Okay, let's take this object. So as you can see, all the time for yesterday, for this vehicle is divided into the parkings and trips, then parking trip again. So the total mileage is 90 kilometers, and that was the trips. So this is how the trips looks like for yesterday for this object. So we can see it on the map where the vehicle was. We can play back this trip, and we can see on this down graphic, we can zoom it actually, and we can see the some other information. We can select the sensors that are on this vehicle, and then when we play back the history, where was this? So for example, like this, we can zoom in this part of the track, and we can maybe stop this track, and we can know at this time what were the vehicle parameters, the speed or the sensors data, some other things, and the location. So here in the history we can find the we can check something from the history. Actually everything we have configured for this device we can check in here. The number of trips, the mileage, and the sensors data. And we can see here some other events. Like if we have configured some events, we can see them here as well. This is the history. The next up is the reports.
Do you have any question regarding to the history?
no. I get you.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no
everything
question.
like is going to tell like all the actions that happen at what time, like how many mileage and stuff like that.
Okay,
So if you don't have any question, we
Yeah,
can go to
yeah,
like reports. So
yeah. Reports.
mm,
No, go ahead.
okay,
Reports.
next is the reports. We have the list of the reports. There are actually many kinds of reports. Let's check your account. Okay, this is the list of the reports. We have many reports. They cover almost all the requirements from the customers with this kind of business. But if you want to create your own report, we can also do that. But first, let's check what do we have. Like trips and parkings report, for example. This report looks like this. It's the This report shows us the movement and parking, movement, parking, all these events. And every movement, we know the start time, the end time, the duration, the distance, start, stop point. And for this report, for some others, we can check this piece of the track, piece of the trip. Okay, so this one or maybe the another one. So we can see this on the map. Some other reports, they also support this map view. So this is the table-like report, and we also can generate the graphic-like reports. Is like this full report.
So I can add something, can I?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so Mr. Festus, this is the available, like, we have
Okay.
different types of reports. So for example, if you have your list of clients, you understand, right? So and they need maybe
Yes.
some special report that is not available on our platform, you understand, right? So the client can
Okay.
talk to you, then we can just add that report for your client, you understand. So he's going to be getting those kind of
Okay.
reports, because, like, every business is different, you understand. Everyone has his needs, so we try as
Yeah.
much as we can, like,
Yeah.
to put different reports. But if your client wants something special, he can talk to us, then he pay us, then we add it for that client.
But
Okay.
So
for
that's
now,
that.
actually, if this is not some special project, so all the main things are already covered with these standard reports. Like for example, fuel reports. Here we can see
Mm.
the total information, the summary information on the fuel data. We can detect the drain off or filling operations. We can zoom and check. So many kind of reports are available here.
So the red line you are seeing, if you can go back, Sergey.
Yes,
The red line you are seeing is for the
this
for
is the
fuel.
fuel level. Yeah,
Yeah,
blue
yeah.
line is the
And the
fuel
blue
level.
line, yeah,
Blue
is
line
for
is the
speed.
speed.
Yeah, it's the speed level. You understand, right?
So we can zoom and we
Okay.
can
Yeah, I
check.
get it.
Yeah, you see the way it goes up, that means, like, the fuel when
Yes.
it's, like, so just like, man, graphical representation. So
Okay.
if you follow those lines,
Yeah.
you can see the date, what was what exactly.
Yes, for the reports, just
Yeah.
you can try them because they have the, I think, clear names. And if you don't understand anything how this works and what configuration should be added to the same report, you can then ask us. Okay. So this
Okay.
is the main 3 pages: online, history, and the reports. In online, we add the objects, config the device, config the sensors, and in the history,
Okay.
we can see the history of this object. And in the reports, we can build these reports, and we also can save this report in case we need it in PDF or Excel format.
Okay. PDF file.
Yeah,
Okay.
PDF file or Excel format or CSV file for some reports. We also can do.
Okay.
So these reports we can save. Okay, now let's go and check this settings page. Here in the settings, first is the personal settings. Here on the left side is some security settings, like you can change the password or you can enable the IP filtering and some other things. On the right side of this first page is the notifications. So we can enable notifications for standard events, like the ignition sensor operations. We can send these events alert to the email or to web interface, to SMS, to Telegram, or to mobile application. But these alerts are available for this user. So the email is this one. We go to the users. This is the user settings. So this is the email where the alert will be delivered. And for this for SMS, this number will be used. For Telegram and for mobile application, so once the user log in with this login and password to the mobile application, so the user will log into this account and he can get the alerts from this account. Okay, next is the Camel settings. In Camel settings, we can apply the layer to the map. It's just a layer, no any functionality, it's just a layer like this one. Some companies need it to to put some objects to the map. So we can do that. Next is the display settings. Here we can change something for our interface. Like we can change the system of measurements from kilometers to miles, and the others. We can enable some markers, and we can affect on the address. Like here, as you can see in the report, we've got the address, and in this address we can see the city, we can see the road name, and this kind of information. But if we want to add some more information like region or geozone name, postcode, and some other information, so here we can manage. And this option settings is we can enable some icons to the history track, to this one. So as you can see, we have here this icon. So this icon is some event. So this kind of icons we can enable here, like ignition sensor events, battery fillings, connection lost, other sensors, overspeed, and this kind of things. If we enable, then our graphic will be full of these events, and we can check at what time and what place what was the event. Okay, then here on the right top side we are selecting the reports that are available to the account. As you can see, not all of the reports we've selected, there is just some of them. So all of them available are here. So if you cannot find some report, you should go to the settings and then display settings, and here you have to try to find the necessary report. Like for example, we want to see trips and parkings with drivers. Okay, we enable this report, we save, and here it is. This report is available now. So this is how to enable the reports. This we can skip, this we can skip, and certain groups. Here we can create more users for our customers, or the customer himself can create these users. Just push add button, then give the name, login, password, and the other details, and then enable the vehicles for this user. Like we can allow to the user to manipulate not all the vehicles but just some of them. And the other thing is the rights for the user. We can disable or enable some operations for this user. So this is how to create a user. And the last option from the standard interface is the report scheduler. So if we want to send the report, so this is the same list of the reports, we can select this report and we can let this report to be sent to some emails every day or every week or every month. It depends on the configuration for these vehicles. And this is the email addresses. So by this,
You understand? Okay, let me just explain this. So Mr. Festus,
Okay.
you see, when you set up like the reports, yeah, you select like the kind of reports you want to be receiving. So you can select like it can be like weekly, it can be monthly, as just the way you want it. You understand, right? So and you can select the email of your users that the report will be just going to. So that's why Sergio was showing like emails you can add maybe if you have how many users, if they want the report to be going direct to their email. So it's going to be sending the report automatically to the email. You can add as much as emails you can.
yes, so no need to log
You
into
understand?
the interface. You can just receive the report and just to check the data,
Yeah, you understand, right?
like mileage, fuel consumption,
Okay. I
and
get.
other things.
Okay.
So this is it for the main functions. Now let's spend for another maybe 10 minutes to explain you this functionality. We cannot check all these additional modules because it will take a lot of time. We can just briefly explain you. Like for example, okay, one by one. So 3D is the module where we can where we can show the vehicle positioning in 3D dimensions, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. So if we can get this data from the device, we can set up some sensors to show the object positioning. We can use this for some industrial equipment, so as to see what was the position in at a certain moment in the history. Then the AVIS integration we can skip. It's some things we skip for now because these things are very customized for some customers, or they are old, so you can't use them. So we can skip some of them. Analytics module. Here in analytics module, we can create our own report to optimize, to make the optimization for our fleet usage. Like if we have 100 vehicles, we can sort out these vehicles by the mileage for the last month, let's say, and we can see what vehicles was driving more than the others. And by this way, we can redistribute the load for that fleet next month. And the same for the drivers. We can analyze the mileage, the fuel consumption, and the other parameters. Then atom communication, bus lines, and some other like timetable and passenger counter is the same solution. These four modules are for the same solution. For the local transportation, we can count the number of passengers go in or out of bus, and we can count it. And we also can build the route for the bus, and we can control the visit of bus stops. So this is the complete solution. And then the next is the CMS and Sebia and video. This is the video integration. So we can monitoring the video in online and in the history as well. Next is the climate control. For the climate control, it's just we can draw the building map, and we can put the sensors to this map, and so we know at every room what is the temperature and humidity in online mode. Next is the commands module. We can enable, it's the module to send the commands to the devices. Just additional module to send the commands. Then next is the driver module. Driver module is to control the driver, to control the drivers. So if we detect the driver by the key, or we can assign the driver to a vehicle manually. So some reports can show the driver's information as well. Like for example, trips and parkings with drivers. So we can know what driver was at a certain time. Next is the eco driving. For the eco driving, we can control the driver's behavior. So with some special settings, we can control the harsh brake, harsh acceleration, harsh cornering, and these kind of things. Engine block model. For the engine block model, this module is just enabling two buttons, block and unblock. By these two buttons, we can send the command to the device to change the output status. And by this way to block or unblock the engine. Also need to do some hardware configuration, but this is another topic. Events module. Here in the events module, we can show all different kind of events on the map. Like ignition is the event, overspeed is the event, and like leaving or entering geozone also the event. So all that we can call the event, it can be detected as event, and then we can show this event on the map, and we can know at what time, what was the location, and what was the event at that place and time. Then this we skip fuel cards. In the fuel cards, we have to do the integration. We can do the integration with fuel provider, like and then with this integration, we can get the full transactions to our platform. And these full transactions, we can compare with fuel sensors data in case we have it on the vehicle, and we can compare how many fuel was filled in by the transaction, let's say 100 liters, and by the fuel sensor. And if the difference is not too much, then this transaction is colored with green light. But if the difference from this transaction and fuel sensor is too big, then this will be colored with green color, with red color, and we can understand that something went wrong on that transaction. Then GARM. For GARM, this GARM is created for the operators, for the operator rooms. What is the GARM? Here we create the events, the algorithms, and attach them to some events. And once this event happened, the operator should follow some algorithm. So the window will pop up to the screen, and in that screen will be some steps that the operator should take. So we can create different algorithms and many different kind of events, so the operator don't need to think, just follow the instructions. And then later we can see these steps that the operator took. We can see this on the report. Next is the geofence module, geozone module. Here we create the geozones and we create the rules for them, and then we can get the history for them. We skip all this. Notification module. Here in notification module, we can create different kind of customized notifications. So as you may remember, here we have the list of standard notifications. This is the standard notifications based on some settings of sensors or speed limits, whatever, the standard one. But we also have the notification module. Here we can create different kind of conditions, like it can be speed limit, some sensors work, change value, or temperature, moving odometer formula, different kinds. We can even combine these conditions with logic and or. Then here we can add more emails, not just this user email. We can use here many different kind of emails to send this notification alert. And we also can apply some time settings and geozone settings in case we have them. Okay, that is notification module. Next is the we skip this service module, tachograph task, technical inspection. Time control module is the module where we can set up the working day for the vehicle, like since 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. is the working day. All that is inside this time is the normal tracks, and the others is the overtime tracks. We can build this too, this kind of reports. And video, we've discussed already. Violations. The violations, this module can control the speed limit of different roads based on the map, based on the road graph. So for example, these big roads, the highways, they have one speed limit, and the small roads, they have other speed limit. So the system knows speed limit for each of this road, and by this module we can control the speed limit for different roads. Okay, that's the additional modules.